Welcome back. Well, are you a net-savvy person? Do you spend most of your time hooked on to the internet? Well, then you should be really happy you're not locked up in a boot camp worse than prison. Don't be shocked. Our neighbor China dubs anybody, especially youngsters, who spend a considerable amount of time using the internet as mentally ill. These net addicts are thrown into special military de-addiction camps and exposed to extreme disciplinary action. In these internet rehabs, several youngsters have even lost their lives. Here's a special report.
The internet has taken the world by storm. From media channels to IT professionals, grocery store owners and even school children across the world, they now have the world on their fingertips. And all the credit goes to the internet. Smartphone, tablets, laptops and desktop systems are everywhere, juiced up with the good old internet, bringing the world closer than ever. While most of the countries in the world are working at lightning speed to make internet more accessible for everybody, one place has decided to exercise control. If you are in a country that gave the world chopsticks and noodles, being an internet addict might very well put you in a spot of bother. Military training, extreme disciplinary measures, life is tough if you're hooked to the internet in China. In 2008, the Chinese government appended an entry to the list of conditions classified as mental illness. And reportedly, internet addiction is now on the top of the list of being classified mentally unstable. If you are a hardcore gamer, or well, you spend more than 10 hours using the internet, you might be dubbed as a mentally unfit person. Chinese parents are now sending their children to special boot camps to ensure their children are out of their dreaded net addiction. It has been nearly 6 years since the Chinese government appended internet addiction as mental sickness, and camps such as these are on the rise. But now the way the children who land up here are treated is under scrutiny. And you will be shocked to know practices here often fall under the inhumane treatment category. As per the latest updates, a 19-year-old girl died in an internet addiction recovery camp. The postmortem report suggested that the girl had died from severe injuries and brain damage. The incident was reported from a rehab boot camp for juvenile internet junkies in China's Hunan province. The authorities here are accused of torture as the 19-year-old came out as a dead body and another 14-year-old with a broken neck and several injuries. "19-year-old Ling Ying and 14-year-old King King were called out by the councillors for their poor performance in the drill exercises early in the morning. As per reliable sources, they were dropped outside on the concrete multiple times as a punishment. King King said she heard the sound of a neck breaking as they tossed them on the ground over and over again. They were treated as if they were mere rag dolls. The victim says she begged for forgiveness, but the authorities at the internet de-addiction camp showed no mercy. As per the horrifying account of the incident, the counsellor instead ordered the others to continue the torture. At one point, Ling Ying passed out choking, coughing out blood, but her sadistic assailants continued the abuse. After the ruthless thrashing, they dragged her back to the dorm and she was sent to the hospital by the resident advisor. But by then it was too late. She couldn't even hold on to her life. The doctors pronounced her dead on arrival. The postmortem revealed the cause of her death. It was due to the injuries on her neck and brain. Traces of self-mutilation were also found on the dead body. While Ling Ying's mother visited the camp afterwards, SOS notes and drawings were thrown out from the window by other students locked up there. On witnessing this sight, some parents have already taken their children home. But interestingly, there are others who still agree to inhumane treatments offered in facilities like these. The institution in question has been stripped of its license and the people involved have been detained. The story of torture of Ling Ying is just an unfortunate reminder. The harsh, nightmarish conditions these internet addicts, dubbed mentally ill in China, are subjected to will shock you beyond belief. Well, these addicts are tied up, given shock treatments and subjected to extreme disciplinary actions, and their only fault being addicted to the internet. Internet addiction is being defined as one of the byproducts of the modern age, and it is indeed a big issue in China. Several boot camps promising to rehabilitate children suffering from acute internet addiction are mushrooming all over the place that gave the world the Chinese cuisine. The country that boasts of having the world's largest population has also cemented its position as the world's largest internet using population in the world. The number of internet users has reached a staggering 500 million users this year, according to China's internet networking centers. But Chinese authorities believe there is a downside to this. With more and more youngsters getting addicted to the internet, they believe the internet is the cause of the productivity of the country dropping down. Now, China has termed users who are hooked to the internet for over 10 hours a day, 6 days a week, as people suffering from modern-day medical condition. According to them, this condition has sociological, psychological, and even neurological implications. The government is now encouraging parents to send their children to correctional facilities. The concern over excessive exposure to online gaming began with a slew of horror stories that started popping up every day. One gamer died of stress and exhaustion after playing for 20 hours at an internet cafe. Another killed himself after days-long gaming sessions. As a countermeasure, parents have decided to take steps. They want their children to devote their life to a more useful cause away from the virtual world. Let's take you inside one such correctional facility. Parents send their children to these camps, hoping when they come out, they start living a normal, appreciating things outside the confined world of internet cafes and gaming consoles. But what happens behind the closed doors of these de-addiction camps is a different story. The children who come here are often subjected to inhumane treatments.
你干什么事儿了？
我在家上网。不是我妈妈说带我到北京来看病的，他就把我关在这里，他们就是把我的手捆住。
Life starts early in these de-addiction camps. The youngsters who come here are often treated like prisoners with little or no freedom at all. The treatment at this facility in China's capital, Beijing, has a mix of military drills and therapy. The rehab program often lasts for 3 to 4 months. Many children who come here are hardcore gaming addicts who have spent unbelievable hours at cafes that are functional 24/7. Many parents believe the modern-day video games change the psyche of children who are still in their formative years and send them here.
这个网络成瘾，这个青少年里边啊，有的很多孩子上网是我们正常人不可想象的，有的孩子在上网上到非常极端的时候了，怕这个上厕所连解小便什么的，影响他上网打游戏，他带上尿不湿，所以我们所以说称为他电子海洛因。
These de-addiction centers look like a mix of prison and a hospital, with doctors working round the clock and administering medicines. The inmates of this one-of-a-kind place are given no access to the outside world. They have no access to any electronic gadgets, no computers, even mobile phones are a strict no-no. The parents of these children are given an initial introduction of the rehabilitation program, and they are discouraged from meeting their children until the whole process is complete.
妈妈，我真的很痛苦。我不是不能玩电脑痛苦，而是寂寞的痛苦。我无聊，我苦苦哀求你，我真的活不下去了。我儿子自从上网以后就变了一个人，变得冷酷无情。
Are extreme camps like this necessary? Is internet addiction just a byproduct of modernization and way of life in the 21st century? Can the facilities come up with better programs to alleviate the internet junkies' problems? Well, this issue at hand surely needs some thought. A News9 report.